Hi there, it's Anne of Rosie Duck Designs. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. I'm starting off with telling you some news about the Stamparatus and the fact that there is now a new carry bag available for it, which you can order from today. Now, as demos, we have been able to pre-order, and I've kept mine in pristine condition so that I can share it with you on camera. I'm really looking forward to the fact I can actually get to use this now. But I'll just show you inside. It comes obviously with carry handles, but if you're a shoulder person, then you've got shoulder strap to attach to the bag. So there's lots of different pockets in there that you can keep the plates in, and the grid paper and anything else that you might like to carry in there. Personally, I'm thinking there's a nice little pocket there in the front that actually fastens, so you could even just take that out. You could put your phone and your purse and bits and pieces in that. Shoulder straps attached there, and a nice Stampin' Up logo there. So I'm thinking, yes, it's making a great bag for the Stamparatus, but I can see I would also use this to perhaps take a few bits of crafting stuff away with me if I'm just going away and I want to do a bit of crafting while I'm away from home. So there goes the little bag that stops the damp. Let's hope the cats don't find that. So basically the cost of the bag is £27. There's also a bag and tool pack for which there's no actual deal on that, but it's just making it convenient to buy the two things together. So the Stamparatus and the bag come together for £73. You've also got other things that you can add to the Stamparatus, and that is the small grid paper, which again I've found really useful. It fits perfectly as you would expect in the tool, but it's also good if you're just looking for a little piece of a grid paper to work from. You can buy additional plates, an additional foam mat, and probably the most sensible thing to get your hands on is a set of additional magnets. They're very strong magnets, and they do have a habit, if you get them too close together, of getting stuck together, and then nigh on impossible to pull apart. I have got away with it a couple of times, but I seriously wouldn't recommend it. All that also comes as an accessory pack. So if you take the plunge and buy the Stamparatus, it will come in a cardboard box, and with it you will get the tool itself, a foam mat which you're going to use if you're using photopolymer stamps. If you're using the clear mount stamp, then you don't need that. You also get two plates, so one I've got attached there, and you've got a spare one here. You've obviously got the two sides where the plates fit onto, so you can have one stamp on here, one stamp on there, so if you're doing a whole batch of cards, it's more like a production line. And your magnets are on the back, so they're kept nice and securely away from each other. The danger happens when you actually remove them, or the danger happens when I actually remove them, because we all know that I'm a bit clumsy. So that's it basically, and that will now fit very nicely into the bag. This was the grid paper which was launched a while ago now, and again really useful because that, as I say, fits perfectly into the tool. So that's all I wanted to say about that. It's, as I say, available to order from today. I'll put a link to my online shop at the front of the video. I wanted to do that before I started getting myself covered in ink. And the other thing I also wanted to mention was the year-end close sale, which again has started today. This is because the autumn-winter catalogue has got less than 4 weeks to run. So basically there's a number of items on there. Some will be discounted, but it is literally the last chance to buy these items. So again, I'll put the link to my shop on the front so that you can have a look at that. First come, first served basis, and the supplies on a lot of the items will run out sooner rather than later. So if there's been something that you really want to get your hands on, then just do go and have a look at that. So I've done all this to start with because I tend to finish a video and think, oh, do you know what, I should have said this, that, or whatever. So I'm just going to pause the video for a minute while I just clear the decks, and then we can start to do some stamping. So I'm back now ready to do some crafting, and it seemed only right, because I was highlighting the Stamparatus and the new bag, that we should actually use the Stamparatus today to actually make the card. Now if you watched the last video, that's probably a recipe for disaster, but let's just go for it anyway. What I'm going to do, or try to do, is the baby boy version of that card. Now I made this one last night, so there is proof that I can actually achieve the end result, but whether that's going to happen on camera remains to be seen. But that's the inside of it here. So I'm going to put that on, show you the envelope as well. So I'm going to make the card using the little elephant stamp set and the elephant builder punch, which you can find on page 91 of the annual catalogue, and you can buy them separately or they come as a bundle. Now if you go for the clear mount stamp version, which is what you would need if you're going to use the Stamparatus, then that would be £31.50 for the stamp set and the punch. So here goes. So I've got my Stamparatus, I've got my piece of grid paper. There's only a little bit of mark from last night's card, so I'm sticking with that. So I'm starting with a base card of Whisper White, and I've cut that as usual at 6 by 8, and I've scored that on the long side at 4 to make my card base. Then I've also got 2 pieces of Blueberry Bushel, and they're both cut at 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So they're going to be the layers on the inside and the outside of the card. Then I've got some Whisper White, 2 pieces, and I've cut that at 3.5 by 5.5. So one's for the inside, one's for the outside. And I've actually bought some spare Whisper White in with me this week, so if it all goes horribly wrong, then I've got a backup plan, she said. So first of all, I'm going to start with the congratulations stamp from this little set. So there's other, it's brilliant for a new baby, but there's other sentiments on there like thank yous, and a little kindness is a big thing. So it's not just for babies. So this is my card front. To get my magnets off of here. See if I put one there and one there, we won't come on. We use the term unstuck, but that's probably not a good one with this one, is it? So I'm lining it up, my piece of card, along the top, and then I'm using the magnets to just hold it in place. Now I want to start with the first congratulations in the middle of the card at the top. Now these are clear mount, so they don't stick that well just to the block if you've put the actual sentiment details on it, if that makes any sense. I like to add these so I can see exactly what the stamp says, but it does make it slightly difficult to attach to your block or to the Stamparatus. So as I've said before, basic lip salve works a treat. Just run your fingers along there to make sure that it's nicely attached. And I'm taking some balmy blue ink, and this is where I start to get myself in a mess. So that's my first one. Now I want to move it down so I've got 3 congratulations. And you do that by just literally moving this down 1 notch. So you haven't got to guess it. So inking it up again. That's my second one. I'm going to move that magnet up there because I now want to come down in this area. So I'll move it down a notch. And that's got my 3 congratulations. Now, I'm sure we've all had it happen to us where we're using a block and some of the ink doesn't quite come off. Now, when you're using this tool, I'm not going to do this because it's going to change the depth of the colour, but if, for example, the C hadn't come out that well, then I could always reapply some ink and put that down to make up the shortfall of the letter where the ink hasn't quite taken. So again, that's quite a useful element to this particular tool. So I'm now moving on to the border, which I'm going to put down here. So I'm going to put the magnet up there, and I want this little stamp here, which is like a little banner. So I'm just going to centralise that across the bottom. My lip salve on there. Now the good news, or the big news, is that from the start of the new spring summer catalogue, there will no longer be clear mount or wood mount stamps. We are going to have just, what's the name, like cling stamps, which means that the lip salve will be redundant on the new stamps. They're coming with this new texture, so that this bit you can put the pictures on your stamps, but that bit is going to stick really well to your block or to the Stamparatus. So really looking forward to that. I have literally just put in my pre-order because as demonstrators we can order early. So I've just put in my order today. So I'm looking forward to getting some of those and having a play with them before the catalogue actually goes live. Now, last night when I made the colours on the pink one, I used Blushing Bride and Melon Mambo. I found the actual ink of the Melon Mambo was a little bit too dark, so I stamped it off, and that's the second stamp of the I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but basically that's not the first stamp. That is me having stamped it off and then putting it back down. That's the best way of trying to describe it. I'm not sure how Blueberry Bushel is going to work, so in the first instance I'm just going to test that. It's what you call preparing on camera. Just want to move that over there. Actually, I don't dislike that. Let's just see what the stamped off version looks like. I think I'm going to go for the full colour on this one. Yeah. So that is my first line of the border. And I now need to, sorry, I'm thinking this one through. I'm going to clean it using my chamois, which is not what I did last night. I just used some baby wipes, which worked very well. The only problem was I had to go out last night, and I went out literally with bright pink melon mambo hands, which have all come off now this morning. So I never worry, but I've got to the point where my friends are saying to me, what colour have you come as today? I'm just going to make sure that that is completely dried off. It's always a good way to start the conversation though, isn't it? Pete's talking about the weather. I'm just going to lay that down on there. Add a bit more lip salve. I have to say I stocked up on some when I saw it in one of these cheap chemists. So I've got about 3 tubes of it, and then we went on stage and got the announcement about the new style stamps. So my lips should be well looked after for the next few months, because I'm guessing I'm going to be using this less and less. Yeah, that's good. So that's my, no, it's not my front done because I'm going to put some balloons on there. So let's take that one off. Now if I had 4 plates, which I haven't got around to buying, I could have just moved on to an extra plate. So I've added some balloons onto that one. Move that across here. Get that one out of the way. And I want the balloon. So there's the little balloon stamp. And I want the first one to be about there. Let's try it the right way though. It's always looks better, doesn't it? Have you noticed? It's where I say let the comedy begin, I think. Okay. So again, I don't know whether I want dark balloons or light balloons. So I'm just going to test that out. I'm not actually going to bother to try because I think that looks really good. It's always a good idea to keep any of the off bits of particularly the Whisper White card, because you never know when you're going to need it. And it saves breaking into a new sheet. So I've got one there. Now because I want to place it again, I'm going to clean the stamp. Do it the professional way. And I'm going to put another set of balloons down there. So I'm picking that up again. And so that's the front of my card done. Now it might be an idea to do the inside while we're about it. Then I can actually put all the, oh, see how strong that is, and they've now stuck together. Okay. See, I needed to show you that, didn't I? On camera, I had to show you what not to do. So that's a job for me later. I have got another set on order. I could be needing it. Right, so I'm going to do the inside of my card before I put it all together. And that's what I did with the pink one. I'm going to try and work with that's my inside of my card. So I'm going to line that up again. That. There's no way they're going to come apart, so I'm just going to put them together. Oh, it's good here, isn't it? And I'm going to go with the big elephant first of all. Put him down the bottom. I would add that underneath here, obviously, there is a very strong metal base that obviously the magnets are attracted to. I'm going to take a chance and take them off because they're going to impede my stamping down. If all else fails, I'll get a block out. So I just want to look at this as well to see what that comes out like. Yeah, definitely like the darker colour in the blue. Stamp him up again. Now, because this shouldn't be happening, I should have magnets, but because I've lined it up using my grid paper, I know where the card's supposed to be, so it's actually not the end of the world. Just as well, isn't it, really? But there you go. If you want to know how not to do things, then Rosie Duck Designs YouTube is where you need to go. It's also good for a laugh. And I'm sure we've all been there when things go wrong. And it's much more realistic, I think, to sort of show that, because life happens. So I've just lined my little elephant up there. Pick him up. Putting him down. There we go. So I just want to add some balloons to that. So I'll get him out of the way. And I want my balloons about there. Now obviously you can use your blocks and your stamps to produce exactly the same idea. The Stamparatus just helps you to just pick things up, place things, and it's even better when your magnets haven't got stuck together. I want barley blue for that. Actually wanting the I've got a sentiment here that says, "Hello, little one." We're going to stick that there. Balmy blue again. So that's the inside of the card. Now I did forget to bring the envelope in, I have to forget something, don't I? But basically, the matching envelope I would do using the big elephant, which is here. I would use him to just put 3 across the bottom of the envelope. I would use the blueberry bushel. So that is, I believe, all the stamping done. I've not got a director up here at the moment, so I'm going to put those up here. If we spot something orange coming in, then we need to move them. But he was up earlier just checking that I've got everything ready, and so there's a picture of him that I'll put on to introduce the video. But I think he's got a bit bored and he's gone to sleep. So that's my job for this afternoon. Don't put magnets near scissors. Okay. Right, my base card. Of course, I'd like to add some Wink of Stella. It just adds some shimmer to those balloons. Just lifts them a little bit off of the card. I've been a bit sidetracked recently with the shimmer paints. If you've been following my Facebook or Instagram posts, I'll put the links for them at the front in case you want to have a look. But I've got into splattering recently, and splattering shimmer paint as a background, and I'm finding the whole thing quite therapeutic. The only problem was I forgot on one point to actually close my computer lid down, so when I went back to it, it was like, oh hang on, I've got silver bits all over the place. So that's front, but it's good to get back to the Wink of Stella. But joking apart, this little addition to a card, it's not difficult to do, but it just gives it that extra dimension. So that and little embellishments are always good. So I think we might stick the card together first. So using snail, I'm going to put the front on. So I'm just centralising that so there's a white border around. And then I'm going to put, that's my front. That's the front of it. I've mastered this, haven't I? Last week I stuck myself to the base card. So you're impressed, aren't you? I bought a spare snail with me. Normally I'd be going, oh, pause the video, I need to get something else. To admit, I cut a lot of designer series paper up the other day with my trimmer. I'm noticing my edges look a bit ragged, so I need to change my blade. Something else for me to do this afternoon. So that's basically the card. So we now want to add the elephant, and this is the elephant punch, and I'm going to do the main elephant in balmy blue. So if you cut out so you get an elephant, you get an eye, and you get 2 ears. I don't want the 2 balmy blue ears, I want the contrast. But I do, no, I don't want that eye either, I want a darker eye. So I've got my offcuts where I did my original card with my blueberry bushel. So I want two ears, and I want another eye, so I'm just going to take that just so I can punch another eye out. That's basically what I want: two ears, two eyes, two elephants. And then it's just a case of putting that together. So do it that way around. So I need the big ear for the big elephant. I won't use that one though, so that's just going to put that off centre like that. Now, personally, as you all know, I do like my snail, and I wouldn't say this is the best glue to stick an eye on with, but it actually worked okay. I'm just putting a bit of glue on the back there. So that's the small one even. The fine tip glue pen would work really well, I have to say. I have got one of those, but it won't surprise you that I can make a mess with one of those. So I want the elephants going in both the same direction. Offset his ear. There's his eye. I've remembered the stamping dimensionals this week. So apart from the magnets, it's not been too bad, has it, really? One of my better efforts. I've missed the director's input though. I feel like there's something missing. So I'm going to put those between the two bands of blue colour. This one, just really need one stamping dimensional to hold him on. And there we go. And as I say, with the matching envelope, if you can imagine that in blue, that would look really good. So that's that. I talked about simple stamping, and we were asked to think about making cards using just paper and ink and card. I did give that some thought, and I've made some items using that sort of mindset, but I wanted to do this card today purely because of the Stamparatus bag release. So I'll be back to share those with you that I've done. I've also made a box using some designer series paper, so again I will be featuring that, because it's not just for cards, we can use it for some nice packaging as well in conjunction with some stamp sets. So I will be back at hopefully not too distant future to talk to you about that. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed the video, please do give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, that just means that you will get notification if I've uploaded a video, and then you get to choose whether or not you want to watch it. So lots of things coming up in the world of Stampin' Up. As I say, the end of year close has started, and the spring summer catalogue even is about to be launched on the 3rd of January. So again, if you'd like me to send you a copy of that catalogue, please leave me a message. I'll put a link to my contact page, So just contact me and I'll be more than happy to send you a copy of that catalogue out. So I think that is it for now. Thanks ever so much, and I will see you next time. I now have some magnets to try and take apart. Thanks ever so much. Take care. Bye.